Alright, my name is Max Vedra. My partner here was Daniel. He's sitting right there in the third row towards the center. The disease we got was leprosy. It's a pretty interesting disease. Now, you're either wondering what leprosy is right now, or you're probably falling asleep on me, but that's fine. I shall be covering it either way. Now, it's not some type of leopard. It's a very disgusting and very nasty disease, if I can say so myself. It's bacterial, so of course it spreads very rapidly. It'll take around 5 years for the actual disease to, I guess, get ready to infect you. You know, feeling it out. And at the most, it should take around 20 years to show any signs or symptoms. So you can be infected, and you really wouldn't know, which is one of the things that makes the disease really bad. Diagnosis. Diagnosis, just in case you don't know what it means, is basically the result of a test. Per se, if you think you have AIDS, and so you're gonna go to a doctor and get a blood test. Depending if the blood test comes out positive or negative, if it comes out positive, they'll say we have diagnosed that you have AIDS. Now, the way you diagnose leprosy is through a skin biopsy, and I'll be showing you my own example of how the skin biopsy, basically the procedure goes. Now, as you can see here, a skin biopsy, they remove a piece of skin that you may think is infected. So then, of course, they'll take that piece of that skin or sample. They'll usually place it under a microscope. There they can examine the bacteria or the fabric of the actual skin and see if you're positive or negative on leprosy. Now, either way, this is how they diagnose leprosy. Now, probably the hardest part for me, and I don't know, maybe hard for you depending on what you like seeing, is the symptoms about this disease. As you can see, that doesn't look good. The symptoms are skin lesions. They can be either discolored or faded. Growth on the skin, thick, stiff, or dry skin, as you can see that gentleman has it. Severe pain. That does look painful. Numbness on affected areas of the skin, so you'll stop feeling on maybe whatever affected area it is. Muscle weakness or paralysis, especially in the hands or feet. So you don't know, all of a sudden you won't be able to move them. Eye problems. So if it gets on the face and it reaches your eyes, you can become blind if it's not treated quickly. Enlarged nerves, especially around the elbow and the knee. A stuffy nose, nosebleeds, and ulcers on the soles of the feet. Now, as you can see here, those are just normal symptoms, but severe causes of this disease are what you see up here. Loss of smaller limbs. Haven't seen a case where you lose a whole arm. Worse is the numbness of, it blocks your nervous system. It numbs all of your nervous system, whatever affected area, so you won't be able to feel pain of whatever it is that's hurting you. Because per se, if you got cut, if someone stabbed you but they stabbed you in an infected wound, you wouldn't feel the pain, so you might be bleeding out and you wouldn't know it. So that's what kind of makes the disease pretty bad. So sometimes people don't even die from the disease itself. They die from something else. But you're about to see is one of the worst cases of leprosy that I've seen. As you can see, the face is not recognizable. Clearly, nervous system or the nerves have been numbed, and he's blind, and skin has been rotted. Now, you might call me whatever you may call me. I couldn't really find a picture of the body of the patient that we just saw, and since I thought they kind of look that resemble, and the disease that they both have is a bit of the same, I thought I could just compare. As you can see, skin is rotted out. That's basically what this disease does. It rots you, like if you were a plant getting decomposed. Skin is very, very ripped apart, or just nasty and dry. And clearly they're blind and loss of nerve. Of course, certain people in certain economical states usually can get this cured, depending on where they live or how much money they have to maybe pay for it just in case they don't have insurance. So I'll be showing you examples of people who can probably get cured and who can't. So here we got the rich. Tell these guys, look at them, come out that limousine, parked in the red, doesn't care. This economical state, he can most likely pay for a cure if he is infected. Then you got your average Joes, middle class, ordinary people. They can also be able to, as they can probably sustain themselves and live in a good place. Lower class, below average, you, they can still probably get cured for this. Don't, even if they have low resources, because at least they have some resources. This is the economical state that I was talking about, where they are usually the ones that don't get cured and are usually the ones that get infected, the ones that have very little, the ones where there's just not much where they live in, and the state of where they live is not the best as in terms of, living conditions. Now, regions that get infected by this are, by leprosy, is India, Brazil, and central parts of Africa, including Madagascar. Reason being for these regions being infected is just the low amounts of money and just the amount of filth and the lack of clean. There's just not enough cleaning over there that everyone has a greater chance of getting infected, since you get infected with droplets that come from the mouth and through the nose. But worry not, there is a cure for leprosy, and it is treatable no matter how severe. Now, treatments for this are usually antibiotics, since leprosy is a bacteria. Then depending on how severe it is, maybe longer use of antibiotics, certain drugs, and yes, I'm not talking about these types of drugs, okay? Those are bad. I'm talking about these types of drugs, alright? Certain types of drugs called, this one's a form of steroids, and not the steroids that turn this man over here into a giant tumor. No, I'm talking about this type of steroids called prednisolone. I'm gonna say it like that. Another stronger version of an antibiotic is called something called thalidomide. Oh god. Which affects the immune system, so it should not be taken by pregnant women, as it can give them their childbirth defects or can kill the baby. But yeah. Now, the lifespan of people with leprosy is pretty good, because you can't die from the disease unless you were to stick with it for the rest of your life, which is not highly recommended because you probably will be shunned by other people, carrying on how you look. And going into that, yes, living life will be difficult, as the cure for leprosy doesn't just happen overnight. You'll be at least averaging in for a month, depending on how severe your stage of leprosy is, how you'll stay looking like that. So, but worry not, there is support groups out there dedicated to making sure your life stays normal no matter what you look like, no matter what you have. Lepra is a United Kingdom support group dedicated to making sure that your life stays normal and that you don't get just outcasted. They donate you money so that you can, if you can't go to work because of the way you look right now, they'll give you money so that you can stay. Daily Strength also has their own support group where they allow you to talk to other people with leprosy, so you can share your thoughts and concerns with someone who has the same problems as you. Now, I'd like to say thank you for listening to all of this. If you're asleep, wake up. Ms. Shreve might get really mad. All information, well, thanks to Daniel over there, and I recorded and edited. Finally, if you need to ask any questions, either ask me or Daniel, and I'll leave you with this picture.